Hi, my name is Anjan. I'm the Director of Global Risk Technology at a major Canadian bank. My review for LinkedIn Jobs is 5 out of 5. For more reviews like this, click below. Prior to using LinkedIn Jobs, we used a variety of mediums such as Monster, ZipRecruiter, um, in Canada, Toronto Job Shops, so on and so forth, Workopolis. A lot of these online job posting tools or applications, shall we say, really lacked in the area of analytics and the analytics upon candidates. And what they also relied upon was external candidates applying. LinkedIn Jobs also has external candidates applying, don't get me wrong, but it also has a pool of LinkedIn professionals that would be seeing it. So the messaging was a lot more targeted to the type of candidate that we were trying to hire. When we went out into the general population with some of the other applications, there was a lot of redundant resumes that would come to us. So what we were lacking was, number one, in the area of analytics, and number two, we couldn't really be vetting candidates right off the bat. So we had a more of an errant pool that we were choosing from. The reason we chose LinkedIn Jobs above other applications, number one, had to do with the pool of candidates that were actually viewing the applications. From a standpoint, as soon as the application was, or as soon as the job posting went up, what we would know is that the people who were actually searching it were of the caliber that we were looking for, because they automatically belong to LinkedIn and that particular area of LinkedIn that dealt with. So, for example, we would be looking for somebody with banking and capital markets expertise that also had expertise in technology. That's two very different groups of skills that we wanted to bring together in one role. And what we found with LinkedIn was we actually could access applicants of that background nature. The other thing that we appreciated about LinkedIn when we're doing the review of the comparative products out there is that LinkedIn provided a very good analytics. So they would tell you, these are the number of candidates that have been selected, these are the backgrounds, and so on and so forth. And we also saw a beta testing model within LinkedIn that said, hey, you might want to consider these types of applicants, or these are the applicants that could be a good match for your job. So it actually did a pre-selection for us, which we really appreciated. Now we know that ZipRecruiter does the same thing. However, we found the category or the selections made by LinkedIn were a lot better and a lot more on point. And what that did is it actually shortened our search period. So we could find more qualified candidates in a shorter period of time using the LinkedIn Jobs functionality. It was all point and click. Over the 3 years that I used the product, I saw that the features that were built in made it a lot easier and easier for us to actually post jobs onto the site. So that was great. So that actually I could see progress within this application, and that was always liked by the hiring managers. It also didn't require for us to go through an enterprise. So what we could do is actually access the SaaS component of this application and post the jobs ourselves, as long as they were signed off by HR. We didn't have to go through the bank's central portal to get into another application in order to post. Really, really preferred that, because that meant that I could do this on my weekends or in the evening or whenever I had time, as opposed to having to wait for some sort of an enterprise access to the application. Two things in terms of recommendations. The first recommendation actually has to go to LinkedIn if they're ever watching. If you can make the analytics a little bit more robust in terms of geographics and demographics, that would be amazing. Like telling us, so the search criteria for the candidates given is still fairly in its I don't want to use the word infant stage, but that's what it is. Like the search mechanism is still not as intuitive as it should be. So that's a recommendation for LinkedIn. The same recommendation goes to somebody else who might be actually using LinkedIn Jobs, is that you might need to navigate a little bit better in order to get to the candidates you need in terms of the geographic location. So if you're looking for somebody, let's say in the and since I'm here in Toronto, in the greater Toronto area, it might be a little bit more difficult to get into it in that way. Also, what you want to be able to do is sort of decipher between people putting up bogus profiles as opposed to legitimate ones. And the ways that we can actually, we're shown how to do that is by seeing how many contacts they have, what kind of postings they've had, what kind of recommendations they've had. I almost wish that LinkedIn would actually filter that prior to making that recommendation to you, so that the bogus profiles were actually shunted aside. So if you are considering using that, just be watchful of those two recommendations or shortfalls of the application.